how to study for poker using the Vinton live cash game coaching AI. One of the best ways that I found how is by coming to Reddit. If you don't already have some hands that you want to study, Reddit is always full of users that want to do hand analysis. And by going through these hand analysis, you get to hone your game. It's just like talking to a good friend about poker hands. So I found a hand right here. It's very interesting. It says hand analysis 2-5 game in Niagara. 2-5 with somewhat infrequent under the gun straddle. Not a crazy game action. A lot of these people are loose passive, some solid players. Only one obvious fish. Hero covers the table with 1800. Awesome. Hand one, we're just going to talk about hand one right now. Hero has Queen Jack of Hearts in middle position with 1800. Straddle is on. Early position has between 1,000 to 1,250 and opens to $30. Hero straddle calls with around 500 big blinds. Pot is about 97. Flop, ace of spades, king of spades, 10 of diamonds. Straddle checks, early position, C bets to 50, hero calls. Straddle calls, pots 247. Turn 4 diamonds, straddle checks, EP bets 200, leaving approximately 800 to 1,000 behind. Hero is all in, straddle folds, EP takes a couple of seconds and calls. River Jack of clubs, villain mucks. All right, so let's plug this hand in. What I like to do is basically just copy, and we're going to come to our live cash crusher poker coach, Vinton, and we're just going to tell it right here. I want to review a hand, guide me, and it's going to tell you the criteria that it needs. So it tells you some information that it needs, and we're just going to simply put that in. I'm just going to take that hand one out and see what it says. So it says, thanks for providing details. Let's break down the hand and analyze each decision point, including potential alternative lines and consequences. Awesome. Pre-flop analysis, straddle game dynamics. The presence of straddle often incentivizes large pre-flop raises and broader ranges. Early position open to $30 is relatively small in this context, which might suggest a wider range, potentially including suited connectors, broadways, and medium pairs. Heroes call in middle position with Queen of Hearts, Jack of Hearts. Pros, Queen Jack suited is a strong speculative hand that plays well multi-way. It has good implied odds, especially in deep stack situations like this. Cons, early position is opening from a potentially tight range in early position depending on their profile, which may limit heroes' implied odds if their range is polarized to premium. Additionally, the straddle can squeeze here, which makes it a little bit more difficult. Optimal. Calling is reasonable, but a 3-bet could pressure early positions range to fold out weaker Broadway hands like King 10, Ace Queen offsuit, while setting it up for a C-bet on a favorable flop. Flop analysis. King, Ace of spades, King of clubs, 10 of diamonds. Pot is $97. Flop texture. Highly dynamic, favoring ranges with Broadway cards and nut draws. The board is very favorable for early positions perceived range after opening from early position. C-bet 15 to 97. Early position small bet sizing is likely indicative of a range bet, as this board heavily interacts with the perceived range. Heroes call. You have the nut straight and the backdoor flush draw, making this a very strong hand. Raising options. A raise could build the pot and protect against equity from hands like Ace Jack and King Queen, which has significant outs. However, it risks folding out weaker hands and isolates you against stronger hands like sets, Ace Queen. Calling options. Smooth calling keeps weaker hands like Ace X, King 10 in the pot and allows straddle to overcall, potentially building a pot further. The straddle has likely a weak draw, gut shot, or a flush draw, or a marginal hand, example, like ace X, king 10, or jack 10. Going to the turn is 4 diamonds, pot's now $247. The board texture, 4 diamonds is a complete blank, doesn't really change anything, not improving any logical hands except for a backdoor diamond draw. Early positions bet of 200. This sizing is much larger than the flop bet, likely polarizing the range to strong value hands, sets, 2 pair, ace queen, or semi-bluffs, diamonds, king queen. Their sizing also sets up a shove on the river, further indicating strong value or committed semi-bluff. Heroes all in covers 1800 effective. Shoving here implies maximum pressure for early positions range and denies equity from hands like ace jack, king queen that have significant outs. With the nut straight, you crush their continuing range except for a chop with ace queen. Effectiveness. Given the stack dynamics, this move puts early position to the test. They need to risk their stack with a non-nutted hand or folding out high equity hands. Their call indicates ace queen 2 pair like ace king, ace 10, or sets aces, kings, 10s. An alternative line would have been smaller raise to 600 or 800, which could still extract value from weaker hands while keeping the pot manageable. However, giving their large turn sizing, shoving maximizes EV when they are committed with hands like 2 pair or a set. And the river comes jack of clubs. The river changes nothing significant. No flush or full house completes. You still have the nut straight. An early position is likely either chopping with ace queen or losing to your straight with a weaker hand. Key takeaways pre-flop. The call with queen, jack of hearts is fine, but consider a 3-bet to pressure ranges that can take the initiative in this deep stack game. Flop. The call is ideal as it keeps the pot manageable while allowing weaker hands and the straddle to stay in. Turn. The shove is strong and optimal in this situation. However, it minimizes the value against early positions range and denies equity to high out hands. River. With the nut straight, you win against all non-ace queen hands in early positions ranges. Overall evaluation. Result early position called and mucked, meaning that they likely had a hand like 2 pair, ace king, ace 10, or sets. The line, the shove is well timed and extracts maximum value while protecting your equity. So, as you can tell, you can go very thoroughly through the hand, and if at any point you have a question, for example, right here, it says the preflop with the calling with queen jack of hearts is fine, but consider a 3-bet. So I can ask it a question simply like, why 3-betting with queen jack of hearts preflop is a better idea, and we can get further into it and learn to improve our strategy. So very basic question, why is 3-betting with queen jack of hearts preflop is a better idea? It says, in this scenario, it could often be more profitable due to several factors related to position, range construction, and stack dynamics. Here's the detailed breakdown of why 3-betting can outperform calling. It applies pressure to early position opener. Wide early ranges in straddle pots. Early position opens to 30 with the straddle in play, which could suggest a range that is not exclusively strong, suited broadways, suited connectors, and medium pairs. A 3-bet pressure in this range, forcing early position to either fold weaker hands like king jack, king 10, ace 10, or play a bloated pot out of position, also denying equity. Hands like king jack, king 10, ace x suited, or smaller pairs like 6s through 9s that might flat your 3-bet are often dominated or in a bad shape versus your queen jack suited. A fold from these hands denies their equity and increases your win rate. Gaining the initiative. Potential advantages by 3-betting, you take control of the pot, setting yourself up as the pre-flop aggressor. Post-flop, your position allows you to dictate action and apply pressure on flops that are favorable for your perceived ranges. Example, heavy Broadway heavy boards. Favorable continuation spots. When the early position calls your 3-bet, you represent a strong, condensed range of premium suited broadways. This can allow you to take down many pots post-flop with a simple continuation bet, especially on neutral or dry boards. Isolating the field, straddle squeeze factor. If you just flat the $30 open, you invite the straddle and possibly other players to join the pot. A multi-way pot reduces your equity and makes it harder to realize potential of queen jack suited. By 3-betting, you often isolate the early position opener and take down the pot pre-flop. Expanding on your 3-bet range, balanced aggression. Mixing in suited broadways like queen jack suited helps balance your 3-bet range. Instead of only 3-betting with premiums, for example, queens plus ace king, this makes you a tougher opponent to read. Balancing your 3-bet range ensures opponents can't exploit you by folding everything except their strongest hands to your 3-bets. Punishing early positions predictability. If early position tends to open wide but folds frequently to 3-bets, queen jack suited becomes an excellent hand to exploit their tendency to overfold pre-flop. Exploring deep stacks. Increased implied odds, and further it goes to leverage on future streets and gives you some examples. I'm not going to go through it all, but it brings everything home. So as you can tell, this is an invaluable tool that you can use just in one hand to go through enormous amount of detail, and this is just the tip of the iceberg. You can go down through the rabbit hole of every hand for every minute detail for hours to analyze different spots, different stack sizes, different plays, to be able to gain every edge you can in the live environment that you normally play or occasionally play, to be able to adjust to your opponent's tendencies and mistakes. And this tool that we have that's available to you for completely for free gives you the opportunity to study those spots just like a friend that is a much better player than you. But it's also very human. It thinks about the tendencies of your opponent. For example, if I said, let's say in this spot, the early position player is a very aggressive pro, the advice would be tailored to reflect that. Here, I'm going to demonstrate that EP is an aggro pro, and let's see what it changes. For example, it says, if the EP is opener aggressive pro, this significantly changes the dynamics of the hand and further strengthens the case for a 3-bet with queen jack, and here's why. And it goes through all the supporting reasons as to why, according to that profile in this spot, your strategy should be a 3-bet strategy and how to proceed forward. If you want to gain this edge against other players in a live game environment, whether you are at home or you're walking away from a table after having just gone through a hand and you just want to discuss it, kind of like having a live coach on the rail, click on the link below in the description. You will get access directly to our poker coach that's called Vinton Live Cash Poker Coaching. It's built on ChatGPT platform. Use it, enjoy it. Let me know what you think. Leave your comments in the comment section of this video right below, and we're gonna have come out with more videos in the future showcasing its uses, not just in hand reviews, other ways you can improve your game, and we'll see you in those videos. Hope you enjoy it.